Melbourne's lockdown has created a lot of anxiety in the community, and it's really, really understandable why that would be. Our last lockdown, so this is our third, our last lockdown went on for 3 or 4 months. It was a very long lockdown for us. And people are really worried about what's happening for their business, what's happening for their children, what's happening for their work, what's happening with their family relationships. But more importantly, people are worried right now about the uncertainty of how long this lockdown will be. If you look at commentary online, you'll see there's lots of chatter, not so much in articles and news articles and official sources of information, but in comments on articles and news articles on the media. I'm seeing a lot of people making assumptions that this lockdown will be a lot longer than 5 days. So in terms of the fear and anxiety that a lot of people are feeling, I'm seeing it play out both on social media and also in the conversations I've been having with members of the community as I, go into shops and buy coffees and do those sorts of things. By going to shops, I mean getting my essential groceries. There are no other shops open. I think it's really important as a psychologist that I tap into the mental health elements of what everybody's facing at the moment. Today's Valentine's Day. Many businesses have been impacted really heavily by being in lockdown on Valentine's Day. I've mentioned already, the florists who've bought in truckloads of flowers ready for Valentine's Day, but we're in lockdown. The events organisers who have had to cancel weddings, the restaurants who've had Valentine's dinners prepped and ready to go with all of their stock now perishable, and how are they going to turn this stuff over? Hopefully with takeaway and home delivery, but so there's a lot of stress, a lot of impact on people's mental health through the uncertainty of what's going on with the lockdown that we're in, and fear that it will be a lot longer than what we're currently being told of this 5-day maximum, well, around 5 days. I think tip number 1 is let's not get ahead of ourselves. If we look at the sources of information that are official, so from the health department, the original sources of information, so if you are concerned about the facts of what's going on, listen to the government press conferences and be careful which news media outlets you pay attention to, because some, dare I say, have a political agenda and may wish to colour things a certain way. We all know, we can all think of examples of news outlets that are sensationalists and like to generate a little bit of fear in their reporting. So steer clear of those sorts of sources of information, whether they're in print media or online, and make sure that you get facts. So, sign up to the websites or the Twitter feeds or whatever that are reporting factual information, so you can just get a little bit of fact for your day and then go on. I think being very conscious of your own well-being, being very aware of how your mood is fluctuating while we're in lockdown. If you're finding that you're in a funk, if you're finding that your mood is low and you're struggling to shake it, think of the things that work well for you to lift that mood. So if it's going for a walk, you're allowed 2 hours of exercise during this lockdown. So that means you could go for a walk twice a day. Or is it once a day for 2 hours? I don't know. But anyway, it's on the website. Figure it out. But my point being, get outside if you can. Get some fresh air, get some breeze on your face, get some exercise, get that heart pumping. It doesn't have to be hard exercise. My young son and I went for a lengthy walk this morning. It was a gentle walk. We didn't break a sweat, but it did wonders for both of us in terms of mood and conversation, talking and thinking about all of the things nothing to do with the lockdown. Talk to somebody who makes you laugh, watch a funny movie, read a book, listen to a podcast, distract yourself if you are feeling that you're stuck in that space of worry and fear and low mood. So do the things that work for you. It might be music, it might be going for a walk, it might be talking to someone on the phone, it might be watching a movie. Do the things that lift your mood and distract you away from the fear and the worry. Finally, I would recommend you focus on what we do know. Focus on the fact that the case numbers are still low. Focus on the fact that at this stage there's no talk of extending the lockdown. We can't control what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. So focusing on what's out of our control, it's all out of our control, but we don't know what tomorrow or the next day is going to bring. We can only focus on what we do know today, which is the information that's already available from government websites about case numbers, about exposure sites, and about how the lockdown is going. So do your level best to look after you, to look after each other, to distract yourself from fear and worry, to not disappear down the rabbit hole of negative commentary online. That is a really easy thing to do. I find myself, if I'm reading an article and if I happen to read the comments, it's a really easy and slippery slope down into that rabbit hole, especially if they're really negative, unpleasant comments, and I find myself arguing with people in my head. I catch myself doing that and I stop it. The other thing I do is when I watch the news, the press conferences, I actually swipe whichever way it is so that I can't see the comments that are rolling, because there are so many comments that are unhelpful. Obviously there are lots of positive comments too, but there's a lot of unpleasantness in some of those comments. So protect yourself from that stuff the best you can. If you're a business owner, I know I'm always on about this. If you're a business owner and you're worried about how you're going to battle on, make sure you access the supports that are available. Business Victoria has already, Small Business Victoria, have already posted something online about supporting you on social media if they can. There is going to be some announcement, I believe, soon about financial support for those businesses directly impacted by the lockdown, thinking of florists and hospitality and so on for Valentine's Day. So make sure you're aware of the supports that are available. If you feel you need to talk to somebody, there is a COVID counselling line run through, I think it's through Beyond Blue. Contact Beyond Blue. That you can Google them on the internet if you're not sure how to reach Beyond Blue. They have a free counselling service where you can talk to somebody. There are lots of supports available to you. Bottom line, if we, your community, can support you, make sure that you are visible online. Make sure that you're asking us to share things for you. We're more than happy to help you. We're more than happy to tag you. I bought some flowers. I had some flowers delivered from my florist this morning, and made sure I posted a photo and tagged him. Doing those things is second nature to me, but it's not second nature to everybody else. So make sure you ask us to support you by tagging and sharing the posts that are about what you've got going on today. If you're open for coffee between 8 and 3, share that on social media so that we know where to go to get our takeaway coffee, and ask us to share it for you to let the community know. So reach out to your community. We're all here to support you in any way we can, as long as we know what support to give. So I hope that's a little bit of help today. I am now heading back downstairs. I have promised my kids pancakes with bacon and maple syrup for lunch, because why not? And we're going to snuggle down, watch a movie, and just be together. So however you're spending your Valentine's Day or your Sunday, I hope it's a beautiful one. My poor husband is still in Tasmania, making repairs to our house there so we can get it rented out. And so he's having a sad and lonely Valentine's Day by himself. I did send him some flowers to cheer him up. So whatever you're doing to spend Valentine's Day, even if you're preferring to ignore it, do something nice for yourself today. Look after your mental health, and don't let that fear, anxiety and worry get to you too much. Distract yourself as best you can. Find some music or something to uplift your mood. And if you need more pronounced help with anxiety, reach out for help. If that fear is grabbing you by the ankle and holding you down and risking your mental health, putting you at risk for depression, reach out for help. It is available. Anyway, other than that, please do have a lovely Sunday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye for now.